31st of 2022, December, made it 365 days of me being nominated, elected, and given the statutory position of the Oloja of Lagos. And for the family to have done that made me to be the one chosen, elected by the family. That's also provide the space for the government to make it official, which has also been what we'll be waiting for. It's so important that happens because Nigeria is a federal republic, and there is a constitution governing the entire traditional body. So based on that, I'm still waiting, and that made me to continue to remain as elected, the Oloja of Lagos elect. Now, I decided I should not just sit down and wait until I am elected, because the family has been able to put their trust in me, and that gave me the assurance that I should continue to do what I should do. And I decided to go in line with what I submitted in the course of the various interviews I was involved in as Omoye to the throne of the Oloja of Lagos. I went as far as giving the family a blueprint of what I want to do, and the blueprint is making the institution that I'm occupying to be independent, so as to run on its own during my time and after my time. So it's that area of winner takes all will cease to be reality of in short, so that it will just cease to be things that people will continue to rely upon. So the moment you become the Oloja of Lagos, there will be a process that you can follow that will not make you to be rich at the expense of all other family members, because those are the problems that the Oba of Lagos, the Lake of Lagos, Oba Kilo mentioned in the course of the process. But I decided to start following my blueprint in January. I decided to uplift the face of the palace. But I came in to see that the palace had tenants. Even the main palace itself that was built in 1861 had tenants in it. People were selling clothes. They are making use of the palaces as warehouses for fabrics. So what I did first and foremost was to call those people to order, pay them off, pay everybody. Some are paid up till 6-7 years. So what I did was to pay them all money so that they can give space, let there be space. So with that, I was able to get back the palace space through proper renovation that cost that run into millions. That is where you can come into the palace today and see the palace looking as new as it used to be. Apart from that, I called upon all the family branches, head of various family branches, let them realize that we should start the institutionalization of what the palace owns, because the palace is one of the most richest as far as I'm concerned. The School of Oloja of Lagos is one of the most richest in Lagos, and that we should just make a business edifice out of it. So we registered a business in the name of the family called Kosokos Courts, Nigeria Limited. That takes care of the family estate. We registered Kosoko Harbor. That takes care of logistic purposes. All these are things that Kosoko has, and those things have been in existence for so long a time. We went as far as getting King Kosoko Memorial Museum, because the relics of King Kosoko, the first, is so enormous that we cannot keep them aside. So we need to let people see, and not just see it, talk about it, because everybody must have heard about King Kosoko the first. So I went as far as calling our family members that those things are with them. the relics. We gather those things, and we have over 8,000 plus now. So we cannot keep those things in a room. So we decided to start up a business entity in the name of King Kosoko Memorial Museum. So because our intention is to make the palace a place where people will come for recreational activities and educational activities. As far as I'm concerned, that can also generate revenue and also create employment opportunities for family members, and also teach the young ones the history of the family where it has been hidden, because all family history is hidden in all those relics. Again, we went as far as registering another business entity called King Kosoko Beverage, Farms and Beverage. So that is to take care of drinks, food, because we're looking at repackaging and mailing of rice. We have about 600 hectares of land along the Ibejuleki axis. So what we want to do is to start a farming institution there, and we've been able to meet with the central bank, and they are willing to go in line with us with that. And I was able to meet with the government of Namibia through one of the past presidents of Nigeria, who made it so easy for us to have a partnership with the Namibian government on dairies. So we tend to bring in they are known as the bois goats and the cow, so that we can start. All is in the name of trying to employ as much as possible family members. Now the federal government is not giving employment as they used to. State government is not. So we want to see what we can do to get our family members employed, so that we can start increasing the numbers of potential family members in the name of revenue, income, and experience, so that from there they can also use that as a stepping stone to get better employment opportunities. There are other businesses that we are still looking at. As far as I'm concerned, the Ereko Radio will be coming up in February ending. We started the Ereko News. It's a newsletter that talks about the past, the present, and what the tomorrow will look like for Lagos and its environment. So we've done the first publication of Ereko News, and the Ereko Radio will be on. It's a community radio station, and that again will provide employment for about 26 people. The Ereko News now has been able to provide employment for 12. And okay, I have forgotten that we are having King Kosoko Microfinance Bank. We've been able to register that, and that will be coming up with an instance of an office, because all these businesses will be generating revenue, and each of one of these branches will be getting dividend at the end of the year. So if you, as a family member, and you borrowed money from family purse, of course we'll be providing that enabling environment for people to get loan. So if they cannot pay as at when due, we deduct from source. So you will be deducting directly from your from dividend that will be going straight to the family, from those to the various family branches. So the family heads, they are all acquainted with all these processes, and I am so sure with all this is going to so many things will come in place. And in addition, last year I did a snippet of let people understand the fact that the palace itself is about 160 years old. The King Kosoko died 150 years ago. By April 25th, he died April 15th and was buried April 25th. So this year we'll be doing, we'll be celebrating that life. So the project is tagged King Kosoko, the remains. So like remembrance. So that is going to go a long way. We want to try to continue to immortalize the name Kosoko, and make people to understand the important role Kosoko played for his life during his lifetime, and the legacy he has also left behind after he passed away, and those things we want to showcase. So we'll be unveiling his museum, the Kosoko Memorial Museum, The logistic company too will come into, we'll unveil the logistic company too with the 5 motorbike, dispatch motorbike, and then 2 buses that will take care of moving, because we want to key into the e-market, the e-commerce activity that is becoming known in Lagos State and Nigeria, all over the world. And Ireko, Lagos Island, happens to be the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, apart from being that of Lagos. So we want to see how we can get ourselves involved in cargo transportation and logistics services. So all these are the things we are looking at. And thank God the Lagos State government has been able to purchase the train that will run through the blue line and the red line. So we want to tap into this by beginning to be one of the family that's we do business with Lagos State government through those train routes. So we've discussed that with the federal government too, National Railway Corporation, and I know that again will give us the leverage. We are looking at getting coaches that will do that job for us, running through Ogun State and Oyo State in first phase. But I'm so certain that government, the Lagos State government, will give us all the necessary partnership as we so much desire. So these are little about things I have been able to put together for the 365 days of being enthroned as the Oloja of Lagos, and I still remain elect. The anniversary is going to be the first one. So because we designed a template that will make it institutionalized, so that either I am alive or not, during and after my tenure, it will continue to come into existence. The project is a 30 days project. The project we're talking about the Oloris we have a day that will go and sweep all the various palaces in Lagos, mostly Lagos Island. We have the Jumat service on the Friday. We're going to reenact the 1862 movement when Kosoko returned to Lagos. We'll go to about 6 most important Islamic centers: the Amini Marshal Mosque, the Shitabe Mosque, the Central Lagos Central Mosque, the Ireko Mosque, and before the Jumat service. Then we'll now go into, we also have a Thanksgiving service in the Ireko Methodist Church, which was established 11 years before the death of Kosoko. The church is just sited within the Ireko Palace. Then we have the Dynastic Carnival, which also will involve all the Fanti Carnival, the 7 Fanti group on the Lagos Island. We're also going to unveil King Kosoko's status that will be installed in one of the prominent areas within Ireko district. We're also going to have King Kosoko Memorial Museum. It's going to be open for people to come in and to look for free, because we'll be exhibiting about 340 relics that has very important meaning to Lagos State as a whole and Nigeria in particular. Apart from that, we'll also be having King Kosoko Memorial Lecture, the 2nd edition of King Kosoko Memorial Lecture. We'll be doing the Dynasty Party. That is going to be where we're going to do the exhibition, where everybody's going to have their actual editing for that period. So it's going to happen on a Sunday. So we're still looking at 2 locations. That will definitely be the Marina Car Park or the TVS. So we're looking at those 2 things. But as soon as the various head of families sit together, and the general Olurebi, in the name of Malaja Chief Mutiat Shabi Ali Balogun, actually the Olurebi in general of King Kosoko royal family, all that will be determined at the sitting, and we'll be unveiling so many other things as we will continue to see life, as we're going to see life, our life being extended for goodness sake. You see the branches. I would rather want to let you know this, that when you are being given multivitamin as a drug, the doctor will not tell you that you should take it all at the same time. That you take it one by one. And I would rather ask you that you wait while those time will come, so that you can afford to take those multivitamin not at a time, but one at a time. And that will give you a very good and intensive story for you to showcase why the time comes. But you see, Oloja Ashabi Mutiat Abimbola Alibalogun happened to be the head of the King Kosoko royal family, and she's been performing as the head of the family since August 2018, and she remained the head of the family. I ask at this moment that God prolong her life, give her good health. While she's been giving good health to all other branches, the head also will be given the same as I request from the Almighty God to prolong each one of them life, and also extend my health for the better. So I'll let you, I'm giving you this as an opportunity for you to get more stories as regards the various branches of the family. Okay, let me start by saying this. Before now, okay, I'll start descending. I will not ascend. Before today, I am the originator of Origin Gardens, Origin Gardens Resorts, Origin Garden Ferry Services, and that is where I am, and I'll continue to remain the MD, CEO of Origin Gardens Nigeria Limited. Origin Garden is a tourism development and management consultant, and as I speak, I still remain the major consultant to all the zoos, the wildlife park and zoos in Nigeria. I am one of the prominent person in wildlife maintenance, wildlife design, and wildlife capturing. So apart from that, I am a town planner. I'm also an essay surveyor, and I practice in all this field. And all these are the things I put together in exhibiting what I want to get out of life. And as of today, I will tell you, I still remain an essay surveyor, I still remain a town planner, and I am also a tourism development practitioner. I have long time expected to tell the story as an insider. And if you get to know the Oriki of Kosoko, the dictionary of Kosoko, it explains who Kosoko is. And you see, not until early last year that I got to start, in the course of researching, that I realized that most of the colonial masters representatives were issued query on their actions against Kosoko and against Lagos. But because we were unfortunate race that were not given the opportunity to see the both side of the coin as at when due. And that's why they keep saying, if you want to hide things from the black man, put it in the book, because we don't have the patience to read through. So we always want to listen to folk, the stories, like they'll tell you they are law, they are law, they are law. Our law will continue to remain our law, and being told from the perspective of that person that has little or no time. But now, I have decided with the history, to tell the history of Kosoko and the history of Lagos from an insider's view. And I've written a book too, called The History of Lagos, an Insider Revelation. And that will also be coming out anytime soon. So it's a book that tells you the true side of Lagos and the true side of Kosoko. The good thing he did and the bad thing he did, and the bad thing that was said that he did that he didn't do. So if you call all the princes and princesses of Lagos and you sit them down, they will tell you the truth about what had happened. But because most of us will just sit down and say, come, it is their own they are saying. And because we keep saying it is their own they are saying, we have failed to tell it the same way it is. So people keep believing what they say. And the 150 years anniversary of Kosoko, we open up so many things. And that is what the lecture, King Kosoko Memorial Lecture, will be talking about. That's what we'll be showcasing. That's what we'll be exposing to people. The true story of King Kosoko, the true story of Lagos. How it was founded, and by who, and for who, and with who, and for how long it will continue to stay. And sincerely, I have not, despite the fact I'm so close to the Ministry of Tourism, I have decided I should complete the renovation and the rehabilitation, the upliftment of the palace, because the government does not have the information and data of what King Kosoko-Palastes stands for. Nor did they know when it was built. Neither did they have the history of what King Kosoko-Palastes stands for. During the time of Governor Raji Fashola, there existed, I was part of people that went out to take data of building that is over 100 years old, and we did collation of all these lists, a pictorial presentation for him, and it was the Ministry of Environment was given the statutory rights to run through that. But you see, because of the commercial activities of Lagos, family members tend to be self-centered. They set some of those buildings on fire. Now start giving out to developers to work on. I think that again disrupts the government plan towards those historical buildings. And that again allow people to now convert the King Kosoko-Palastes into warehouses and shops. But with the renovation, the ongoing renovation, we'll be sending a notice anytime soon in February to the Ministry of Tourism, inviting them to come and look at the palace. You see, people don't know that King Kosoko the First was buried inside this palace. His tomb looks like that of a pharaoh. He is buried in a room in the palace, and all his relics are also available in the palace. People will come all the way from Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, coming to ask. They've heard about him. People that went to school before today study the history that talks about King Kosoko, but they don't know his palace. They don't know where his palace is. They don't know where he's buried, where he's been buried. So these are the things that the palace will talk about. So we'll be inviting the Ministry of Tourism to come and look at it, and I'm asking God to prolong my life and give me good health, so that by the time we are done with all this, the government, the partnership with the Lagos State government will definitely take us to do a formal presentation of King Kosoko's palace and relics to the United Nations for UNESCO to give us a certificate for this to be approved and make a UNESCO certified landmark in Lagos. So these are the process that we are looking at, and I know the Lagos State government will be so proud to make this happen. So that is what I will say for now. My first 3 months, I've done a letter to them, to the National Council for Monument and Heritage. I sent a letter to them, and they are waiting, because I told them the moment we are done with the renovation, rehabilitation work, we're going to invite them. And you see, the good thing about it is that most of them still find it difficult to believe that the palace is still in existence. But it would be too bad for us to ask them to come and see. But we've been able to provide, to make pictorial and video of the way it is, the way it was before the renovation. Before today, visitors have been coming from other parts of the country excuse me, and you will not believe it that the Nigerian Tour Guide Association have also visited, and they find it very interesting to realize that the building is still standing and still intact with all the fittings as installed by the British, because this is the only building built by the British for an individual for peace and economic revitalization, for the economic of Lagos Island to come back alive. So it was purposely built for King Kosoko to make sure that the spirit, the commercial spirit of Lagos come back again and continue to live. And there's a lot of things attached to this palace that I cannot say now, not because I don't want to say it, but because I want us to create other avenue for us to have a robust interview. To the press, thank you for giving it a wide coverage. I never knew that you guys can do that. Thank you so much.
Don't you forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. Whenever we post a video, you would always get it right away. Bye for now. See you next time.
ChaRLian TV.